Now available in paperback and e-readers. John Haynes, 1987. Learn lessons about life and teenage love in the 1980s in this coming-of-age John Haynes story. Get your copy of John Haynes, 1987 in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. One of my viewers wanted me to talk about two DC supervillains who they believe are men in crisis. And those two supervillains are Eobard, Thawne, also known as the Reverse Flash, and Orm Curry, also known as the Ocean Master. All images used in this video are under fair use of United States copyright law of 1976 and are used in conjunction with my commentary. Now, the first supervillain I'm going to be talking about is Eobard Thawne, also known as the Reverse Flash. And as I was reading about Eobard Thawne on the DC database, his behavior fit the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis, and a lot of his behaviors really mirror that of La Isla Vista mass shooter Elliot Rodger. Now, as I was reading about Eobard Thawne, who was born in the 25th century, it states that his parents genetically engineered him to be highly intelligent and have a particular appearance. And this is the kind of thing that beta male fathers do along with mothers. They want to go out here and make their children into some sort of perfect, so-called good being. Unfortunately, when they go out here and try to socially engineer a child to be like this, what you create is a beta male who is filled with a lot of rage and seething with a lot of anger because they cannot grow up to be who they want to be. No, what happens is that they start to feel inadequate about themselves, and because they feel inadequate about themselves, they start to feel awkward, and this is possibly what led to Eobard Thawne having a lack of social skills and then tendency to daydream, which was him entering into a rose-colored reality to escape the very regimented society of the 25th century. And his parents, hoping to get him to connect to the real world, hoped to, by having a second son, Roburn, this would help Eobard Thawne connect with people. Unfortunately, because he had poor social skills and was a beta male, he didn't want to connect with a brother. No, he saw a brother as an enemy, and he saw his brother as competition, and just felt inadequate with his brother, and this led to him not looking to care for his brother and connect with people, but it led to him entering a place I like to call the secret world in a chapter of The Man Crisis, where I go in depth on this because the secret world is a place where men go in order to feel adequate about their own natural manhood and natural masculinity, and they enter the secret world to have a safe space where they can feel naturally adequate about their masculinity and their sexuality. And the place Eobard Thawne went to feel safe about his natural manhood and his natural masculinity is the Flash Museum. This was the place that made him feel adequate as a man, and he gained an unhealthy connection to the Flash, and that unhealthy connection to the Flash, it turned into an obsession, because as he became obsessed with the Flash, what he did was go out here and look to make his world smooth by going and traveling through time to erase any sort of conflict, problem, or obstacle out of his life. And that's what Eobard Thawne did when he went in time to prevent his brother Roburn from being born, and this allowed him to focus on his studies, which became an obsession with the Flash. And as another scientist was on the verge of proving the Speed Force existed, he wanted to work with him, but then went out here and then killed that man, again looking to make his world smooth and looking to continue to go deeper into the secret world as related to his obsession with the Flash. And this obsession with the Flash led to him becoming appointed the professor of the Flash Museum and becoming a master of the Speed Force, known as Professor Zoom. and became obsessed with the timeline, and became so obsessed with the timeline of the Flash that he looked to again go further back in time to make his world smooth by killing his parents so that he could continue on with his research. And Eobard Thawne's obsession even messed with his love life, showing me that he was a lot like Elliot Rodger. He saw a girl that he was interested in and found out she was engaged, and he went back in time, killed the fiance, and then when he couldn't get the girl that he wanted, he went out here and rendered her mute as a child so that she would be institutionalized for the rest of her life. Again, this is the type of behavior beta males participate in when they can't get their way in the world and make it smooth where everything is going their way. They go out here into the secret world where they go out here and do harm to people and then go back to the real world and act like nothing happened. And Eobard Thawne was a twisted individual because he became so obsessed with going back in time and trying to change things to make his world smooth that he just didn't care about anyone. It was all about him and all about what he wanted, and he was willing to go as far back in time to make the world the way he wanted. He didn't care about people in his life. He didn't care about his brother. He didn't care about his parents. He didn't care about the girl he was interested in. It was all about whatever he wanted, and this was even before he had a confrontation with Barry Allen. And as he traveled through time, he went into the 20th century so obsessed with Barry Allen that he literally turned himself into Barry Allen. And this is par for the course with a lot of beta males. A lot of beta males, they will fixate on an individual and try to emulate that individual's behavior, copying their details down to the last minute detail, and then express contempt for that individual if they do one thing that they disagree with. And if they do one thing that they disagree with, then they see that person as an enemy, and they look to destroy that person. And that's where we have the Eobard Thawne, who is a part of the legendary 1990 story Return of Barry Allen. He became so obsessed with Barry Allen, he wanted to go back in time to go meet him, but instead he wound up in the later 20th century when Wally West became the Flash. And when he ran into Wally West, he basically was a part of the most defining Flash story that showed how insane he was, but showed how Wally was going to move past Barry for the last time, because Wally had been grieving Barry for an extended period of time, but eventually wound up realizing that if he wanted to preserve his mentor's legacy, he had to do everything in his power to stop Eobard Thawne from tarnishing his legacy with his twisted obsession. And this Reverse Flash, again, he was a terror for many years, and he terrified Barry Allen to the point where he even killed Iris West, his wife, and then went on to try to kill Barry's fiancée. And then Barry Allen had to eventually wind up taking his life because his obsession with having his smooth world where he could have everything fit his fantasies made it where he just, again, had no regard for anyone. So Eobard Thawne definitely was one of these beta males that was a man in crisis, and he was a man in crisis because he was one of those men who just did not know how to function in the real world. Even though he had great power, his mental state showed how dysfunctional he was, and he was so dysfunctional that he spent most of his life in the 24th century obsessing about a man in the 20th century, and obsessing to the point where he basically destroyed the lives of everybody in his past in order to go back into a past where of a man who had died long ago. And again, showing me that Reverse Flash is truly a man in crisis. Now, the other supervillain the viewer wanted me to talk about was Ocean Master. Now, Ocean Master is the half-brother of Arthur Curry, who is also known as Aquaman. And what makes Ocean Master a man in crisis, as I see it, is his daddy issues, which make it where he's always making himself the number two in his own eyes. Now, with most beta males, whenever they see another man who has the success that they want, oftentimes what a beta male will do is fixate on that man. And as they fixate on that man, what they will do is look to go out here and try to compete with that man, similar to the way a feminist goes out here and looks to compete with another man. And as they fixate on that man, they look to go out here and make that man everything about their lives. And that's basically what is happening here with Orm Curry, who is the brother of Arthur Curry. He basically is extremely jealous of his brother to the point where he has, in some ways, become obsessed with him. And as he has become obsessed with his brother, he wants to become the Ocean Master so that he can go out here and dominate and subjugate the King of the Seven Seas and show who is the superior brother in the family. Unfortunately, Orm, like most beta males, is his own worst enemy, and because he is his own worst enemy, he doesn't see that his whole perception of self is the main reason why he could never achieve or accomplish any sort of success in his life through fame, and has gone on this quest for infamy because of his inferiority complex as related to his brother. Now, Orm, really, the main reason why he's angry at his brother, because he believes his brother has all of this success as Aquaman, and because he feels like his brother has all of this success, he feels like he can never measure up. And because he feels like he can't measure up, he tries to overcompensate by becoming the Ocean Master, hoping to go out here and hopefully eventually dominate the King of the Seven Seas by being the Ocean Master through infamy, because Orm feels like he can't measure up to his brother. So because he feels he can't measure up to his brother through merit and fame, what he wants to do is do something through infamy to make his name known and be acknowledged as the brother who could go out here and accomplish anything. And to do this, he would go out here and compromise his ethics as the Ocean Master. And as the Ocean Master, he is a complete contrast to his brother Arthur, who tries to be compassionate and tries to serve the world as Aquaman and as a member of the Justice League, looking to protect the Seven Seas. But Orm doesn't want to protect the Seven Seas for everyone. No, he's a xenophobic individual who has these very racist views as related to humans, and believes that he is better than humanity, and wants to go out here and be able to be the master of the oceans and show how Atlantis is the superior continent. Again, this is the mindset of Orm, the Ocean Master. And again, this is the type of mindset that beta males have, because when beta males feel like they can't measure up, they overcompensate by participating in ideologies talking about being xenophobic, talking about how they are superior, but that is to cover for their feelings of inferiority and feelings of inadequacy. And this is, again, designed to cover up all of his just shortcomings as related to his character. And that's something, again, beta males love to do. A lot of beta males will go out here and try to say, oh, they are superior, they are so much greater, but don't believe it, because that's just them projecting their feelings of inadequacy and projecting their feelings of insecurity. Many of these guys, I've seen this done with guys who have a lot of college degrees, who are just socially awkward. What they will do is try to present themselves as superior in order to cover up their feelings of inferiority and inadequacy. And that's what the Orm Ocean Master character tries to do. He wants to be a master, but the sad part is he hasn't mastered himself. And because he hasn't mastered himself, this is the main reason why the Ocean Master is a man in crisis. Like many of the beta males I talk about, what makes him a man in crisis is because he doesn't, again, want to go out here and do the work on self to accomplish things on his own merits. No, what he wants to do is chase behind another man, which is Aquaman, and looking to measure himself by another man. This is something that a lot of beta males go out here and do on the regular. What they do is find another man and fixate on him. And as they fixate on this man, what they do is make him a scapegoat for their lack of effort and their failures. They go out here and blame that man for things going wrong in their lives. And as they blame that man for things going on in their lives, what they do is make that man out to be an exaggerated villain in their secret world. Now, many of these men, again, being the bad guy, this allows them to, again, feel like they are naturally masculine because they don't want to express their natural masculinity. And Orm didn't want to express his natural masculinity in the real world, so he went underwater to have his own secret world where he felt like he could be naturally masculine and be the man that he wanted to be. And the only way he felt like he could be the man he wanted to be was to become a villain. And again, another beta male trait, because a lot of beta males, they don't feel like anything masculine is good. They don't feel like anything naturally masculine is positive. They don't see positivity in being a man, and they think that these traits are bad. And this goes back to a point that Dr. Robert Glover talked about in his book No More Mr. Nice Guy, about the toxic shame. And Orm has a bad case of the toxic shame, and the toxic shame has him looking to hide his masculinity under the mask of the Ocean Master and looking to go out here and commit all kinds of crimes as the Ocean Master. This is what makes him feel like a man, this quest to go out here and subjugate and dominate his brother. And it's this type of quest for subjugating and dominating his brother that takes him from being a man to being a man in crisis. Now, if you want to learn more about what motivates beta males to participate in their dysfunctional and violent and criminal behavior, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to pick up my first full comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, you can find that comic on Lulu right now and purchase your own paper copy. And if you want to try my first comic with Bill Walko, Esteem No Good Deed, you can pick up that comic on Kindle for 99 cents. And if you want to help me be able to publish an ISIS comic or graphic novel to go along with the John Haynes and Esteem books, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box, and that'll help me to be able to do my third full comic. And you can also pick up other books on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the Esteem series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, and my vampire novel, Eternal Night. And you can also find my other books on Amazon.com as well. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Godbreaker. The man who rules the world takes on the Asgardian god of thunder in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes, Godbreaker in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.